So today's video is another trip to the bins. I find some really good items, even though they are bringing out the bins really slow this day. So let's go ahead and jump into the video, and then afterwards, I'll give you guys an update and an exciting announcement about next week. When it comes to mop refills, usually I'm looking for the jumbos, but this one said commercial on it, so I went ahead and threw it in my bag. At my bins location, this is how everybody basically goes through the bins. I have this big IKEA bag on my shoulder, and when I find an item, I don't look it up right there standing at the side of the bin. I will just throw it in my bag, and then when it gets too heavy or too full, I'll go dump my bag into my cart. And then when I have enough downtime, when let's say they start switching out the bins really slow, I will look up my items at my cart. So basically when you arrive at the bins, you have to find a spot to park your cart. Carts aren't allowed on the right-hand side of the store because the bins are so tightly packed. Now I did pick up this hat. It had some cool graphics on it. I'll list it somewhere under $12. So this is when I first arrived at the bins, and I'm kind of all over the place because I'm trying to go through as many bins as I can, as fast as I can before they start doing their first rotation. Ironically, earlier this morning, my husband told me we needed a new sweater eater, and I thought this one was new in the box. I picked it up, and I end up putting it back a little bit later because it's used and dirty. And right here, I missed over that vintage towel that's a floral design right there, but I do come back a little bit later and find it again, and I do purchase that. But I missed this towel right here. Once I moved this blue thing right here, that vintage towel, I should have picked that one up as well. Now I do pick up this Brighton purse, and I hang on to it for a minute thinking that maybe I'm gonna pick it up, but I have picked these up in the past, and they have taken me 8 to 9 months to sell, and this is early on, so I do end up putting it back. I was at this bins location last Thursday, and they were rotating the bins so fast that I couldn't keep up, so I thought that was going to happen today as well, and it so did not. People were leaving because of how slow the bins were being rotated, and that's just how it is. Some days you just never know what you're going to find at the bins, and you never know how fast they're going to rotate them out, especially at my location. Now this watch, I do end up throwing it in my bag, but once I get a little bit of downtime and I look it up, I realize it's not really anything worth picking up, so I do end up putting it back in a bin. And I also end up putting these back as well. So when I'm at the bins, I also pick up items for a garage sale. So last summer, we started having garage sales at my parents' house, and we've done really well with them. And I'd say 80% of the items that we sold last summer all came from the bins. They were items that we hadn't listed on eBay or that were listed and they were just not moving. So I end up putting back this Ninja Turtle wallet that I pick up, but I do keep this Vera Bradley wallet. Now, Vera Bradley does not sell for me on eBay. This is definitely a garage sale item. Vera Bradley did really, really well for us last summer at the garage sale, so anything that you see me pick up at the bins that is Vera Bradley is not for me to list on eBay. It's definitely going to be a garage sale item. I probably sold 5 of these Carhartt detachable hoods last year. All of them I found at the bins, and I'm going to list this one for probably $15 or best offer. Now I didn't get any footage of this for you guys, but right here in this bin there are 2 Paula Deen cast iron Dutch ovens, and they're not really selling very well, so I didn't even go ask. But at my bins, heavy items like this, they will price them out, and usually they're going to price them out at $8 or under. This Free Willy Skybox trading card kit, so it's sealed in the package. I went ahead and picked this up. There are like 3 listed for over $50 and 1 has sold for $25. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, and I'm listing mine for $25 as well. Somebody must have had those in their garage sale because they wrote 50 cents right on the top of that packaging, and I was able to get that off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball and just rubbing it. It came right off, no problem. Shoes are only $1 at my bins, so there's always a major war for the shoe bins, and I found this pair of J. Crew shoes. They're actually really nice. I went ahead and picked them up. They can go in the garage sale if they don't sell on eBay. So these are a couple items that I found that I didn't get to record. So this robot coupe food processor, I've sold this in the past for the base for $50 and then the pitcher for, I believe it was somewhere around $40. So for $2, I'm definitely picking this up. They price out the electronics at my store, which they consider anything with a cord an electronic. This Vitamix will sell for $50 for the base, and that was $2 as well. I do pick up these psych flashcards for my daughter. She's currently in college, and psychology is her major, so I get those for her. And then I spot this spoon down at the bottom of the bin, and I sell a lot of flatware, and this has a really cool design, and it has that mid-century modern shape to it. So I take a glance and try to figure out if it's something that I know, and it's not, but I see other pieces. So I do dig through this bin very thoroughly looking for more of these. I do end up picking up these, but this Mikasa fork right here, when I picked it up, it's very heavy. So I thought that they were going to be worth some money, but they weren't. So I end up putting all the Mikasa forks back, but I do pick up the other two patterns. And so what I do is when I go back to my cart, I will take a picture of the flatware, let's say a spoon. I'll go to replacements.com and you can search with a picture in their search bar. So when I do that, the pattern name pops up, and then I just plug that into eBay and see what they're selling for. So these are a really cool, to me, like bandana style design. And when I look these up on eBay, there's only one set listed, and it's a 22-piece set. It's listed for $167, and none have sold, but there's only one listing. So to me, these are rare, so I'm gonna go ahead and purchase these and make up my own pricing. So for 3 spoons, I'm gonna ask $20. For 1 butter knife, I'm going to ask $10. And then for the spreader, I'm also gonna ask $10. This is a little trick that I learned my first day at the bins. A little old lady told me she always flips up the corner looking for jewelry. She has found several pieces of gold and sterling just by flipping up the corners and looking through the junk underneath the cardboard. And I finally made it back to the bin with that vintage towel, and I do end up picking this up. I'm going to list it for $14 or best offer. I pay $1.49 a pound, which is about 10 cents an ounce, so that probably weighs about 6 ounces, so I might pay 60 cents for it. Now, this is a reproduction item. The box felt just too new and shiny. I had already taken off my gloves thinking I was heading back to my cart, and that caught my eye. But when I flip it over, it does say something about retro reprint or something like that, so I do just put it back in the bin. I absolutely hate wearing gloves. I never used to wear gloves at the bins. I would just constantly wash my hands or use hand sanitizer, and then I cut myself last December, so my dad picked these gloves up for me that I wear. And I always like to find Little People items. This is Fisher Price Little People, and this last sold for $15, so I'm definitely picking this up. Whenever I stop or start recording, I have to take off my gloves to do that on my phone. And right here, I'm putting my glove back on, and I noticed this trackband mouse, and unfortunately, it doesn't have the red marble ball. And I'm unsure if they sell without the ball at this time. And right there, you can see I'm about to put it back, and then I decide to go ahead and put it in my cart, and I can at least look for the ball, and then if I can't find it, I can check eBay to see if they're selling without the ball. I picked this up because I thought it was a robot coupe food processor pitcher, and it wasn't. And you guys, I looked so hard for that tracker ball, and I don't end up finding it. And I did see a little red ball, and I got really excited, and it wasn't it. It was just a little plastic toy ball. Right here, I thought I had found it, and it's not it. So I just left that in my bag, and I'm gonna look it up later to see what it's selling for. And then I checked this to see if it's a vintage goodie barrette, but it wasn't. I like finding little items like that that most people are not looking for, especially light items at the bins. And then right here, I end up finding this little Polly Pocket ice cream cone, and I don't know if this is new or old. I know nothing about Polly Pocket. So I use Google Lens, and this is a newer item and it is not selling very well on eBay, but I put it in my bag and I'm gonna look it up a little bit later. And then I spot the top to that food processor pitcher that I had picked up a little bit earlier, and I throw that in my bag. I end up putting it back as well just because I don't know what food processor it goes with, because it definitely doesn't go with the robot coupe. And then I found another one of these Logitech tracker mouses. I had to check the back of this one because it wasn't marked Logitech on the front like all the other ones I have seen before. So this one doesn't have the ball as well. So at this point, I know I need to test these when I get home. And then I found two older Goody hair picks. Actually, one only ended up being Goody, and I put it back because there were a whole bunch listed and none had sold. It never fails. Whenever I mention used hairbrushes in my videos, someone always says, "Oh, who's buying used hairbrushes? Those aren't gonna sell." I've made thousands of dollars over the years selling other people's used hairbrushes. You wouldn't believe what people will buy. So this is a new rotation. I picked this bin to go to because nobody else went to it, and I kind of strike out. I did pick up this massager. I ended up putting it back. It wasn't a good one, but I feel like people who run and try to get to the bins first don't necessarily find the best items right away. It's kind of luck at the bins. Just, are you going to the right bin? Like right here, I find this case, I opened it up, I thought it was Keen, but these are some vintage Ray-Bans, like very vintage Ray-Bans. So I definitely picked these up. And then I've been looking at the belts very, very meticulously over the last couple of weeks, because I have found a couple that have been worth over $100. And I'm not too sure right here if I should pick this up or not. I think it's really cool. It's kind of mid-century modern-ish, but I throw it in my bag. So I start going through items. Right here, I'm putting back this Bud Light Hydro Flask and the Polly Pocket and the Goody Picks. And then these are all the other small items that I need to go through and look up. I have absolutely no remote control knowledge. I have no idea what to look for. I should probably research that a little, but I do put back another mop head. I thought I was recording right here and I wasn't, so I had to take my glove off, push record, and then put my glove back on. But this is where I find a nice set of Tupperware canisters, and I think they're all there. I am missing a couple of lids, but you can see right there in my bag, it's there. And then I also put a lens cover in my bag as well, and I do end up putting that back. They are selling for $12, but the sell-through rate is very, very slow. There was like 50 of them listed, and I think 4 had sold, so just not worth it for me. And then I find these little kids Ralph Lauren boots, and at this time I think kids shoes are 50 cents, but they up the price. All shoes are $1, which is still very cheap versus paying by the pound. And if you're newer to selling on eBay, those are the type of items you do not auction off, so make sure when you check comps you're taking the average sell price. So I also find this Joe Rocket ballistic motorcycle jacket, and this is in a size 3X. Larger sizes usually demand a higher price, so I'm gonna ask $70 our best offer for mine, especially because we're coming into motorcycle season in my area. So this just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but there's no rips or stains or anything like that. I pick up this Seal Test ice cream scoop, and at the time I don't know it's an ice cream scoop, but it looks like this is vintage from the 1950s, and it'll sell for around $10. So all these little $10 and $20 items that I pick up at the bins add up really quick, especially because my total is usually under $60 for an entire cart full of items. Today I spent $39.99 for everything that I bought, and I don't know why I ended up putting back this item. I should have kept it. So books are only 39 cents a pound, so this would have hardly cost me anything. I do put it in my bag. I look it up. I couldn't find it listed, but it had some really cool graphics, so I probably should have kept that. And then I recognize this right here. This is a Prada sunglass case, and it's authentic. I go ahead and pick this up. So this will be another item that I sell for relatively cheap, probably somewhere around $13. And then these Columbia gloves are brand new. I went ahead and picked them up even though these are nowhere near in season. They are a size extra large, so a very good size. So I'm checking out this bowl. It's really cool, and then something even better catches my eye, so I end up just dropping it. So this is a strawberry shortcake VHS, and at the time I believe it is new and sealed in the package. So I definitely pick this up. VHS used to be a quarter, now they're just pay by the pound. I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to electronics, but I do remember years ago my husband telling me Koss was a very good brand of headphones. So when I pick this up, I have no idea what it is, but I am able to plug the information on the front of it into eBay and find a sold listing. There are two listed, one for $75, one for $50, and then the one sold listing for $50, so I go ahead and pick that up. And then right here I find a Fossil wallet, and it's in really good shape. I end up listing this for $22 or best offer. And my bin's location is like the mecca for Vera Bradley, so I picked these up for my garage sale. And at this point, I know I'm only gonna stick around for one more rotation or one more really good item, and I'm leaving. They're just bringing out stuff way too slow. Now with my bins, you're supposed to stay behind the blue line and stay up against the wall until they take off the sheets and walk away. And as you can see, people are like little children and they just can't follow simple directions. There's just nothing at this store that is that important to me. So I start looking through the first bin that I get to, and I think it was out of pure desperation. I pick up this belt. I haven't found anything in quite a while, so I end up picking this up, throwing it in my bag. It's an item that I thought I would look up to see if it was worth anything, and then I move on to the next bin. I end up finding the higher ticket item that I was looking for so that I could get out of here. And when I open the box, this is brand new in the package, so this is definitely going home with me and I am ready to go. What I don't realize at this time is this item smells like cigarette smoke. So I just opened it up last night to get it listed and take pictures, and I definitely got the whiff of cigarette smoke. Now I need to sort through my cart and make my final decisions. So I know 100% for sure I am picking up this Tupperware set. This will pay for everything that I end up picking up times 4. So I'm definitely getting that, and these new Columbia gloves. Now you guys didn't see me pick these up. These are 100% linen Pottery Barn shams. And I've actually sold these before in the past, just in a different color. So I know I can list these for $40 or best offer, and they're definitely gonna sell for $30 or more. This is also the time that I look over my items for any rips or stains or any type of flaws at all so that I can put them back. This Fossil wallet, I picked this up, and again, I'm gonna list this for $22 or best offer. Actually, I already have this one listed for $22 or best offer. And then this actually sold last night. I took an offer of $35, and then I picked up that Prada sunglass case and this Vera Bradley case for my garage sale. And then I always pick these up at the bins. They usually sell for between $10 and $12. I picked up a brand new one in my last video, and that one sold for $17. And I'm also going to pick up this motorcycle jacket. I had them weigh it for me just because it felt pretty heavy. It weighs 4 pounds, so I'm going to end up paying around $6 for that. And my grandpa loves suspenders. These were new and red and easier for him to find, so I picked these up for him. And again, I'm just checking to make sure that all of the clasps work and there is no damage to these, because I can't tell you how many times I have bought stuff at the bins, got it home to list it, and it's ripped or missing pieces, so I look everything over now. These Ray-Ban glasses are in pretty good shape. There's one scratch on the lens, but the arms aren't wobbly or stretched out, and they still line up, so these are definitely coming home with me. I'm gonna go ahead and take the case as well. I don't want them to get damaged on the way home or in the bag with other items, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay for the case as well. It might cost me another 50 cents. These garage sale stickers are another personal use item. I could never buy them for this cheap at the store, so I go ahead and pick these up. And then I'm always looking for discontinued Victoria's Secret or Bath & Body Works scents, so I'm gonna put that one in the front there for me to look it up. And then I have no idea why I grabbed this bottle, so that's going in the back of the cart with the other items I need to put back. And then someone was nice enough to bring me a Tupperware lid, so now I'm only missing 1 lid instead of 2. Now I'm gonna assume this Free Willy 2 set is gonna be a slower seller, but I'm still gonna pick it up. And then I noticed that there's a marker missing from this set. I was gonna grab this for my garage sale, but I end up putting this back as well. When I put my items back in the bins, I always try to put them in one of the newer bins so that they'll be out on the floor as long as possible. So if somebody else wants one of these items, they have enough time to find it and put it in their cart. I like sorting my items out by pay by the pound, electronics, and shoes, so that way it makes checkout much easier. And I'm still on the fence about this thing, but it's really light and I go ahead and just pick it up. Weird items like this do sell and owls are popular, so definitely gonna pick it up. This Honda manual, you guys didn't see me pick that up as well, but that sells for, I'm gonna say around 40 I should be able to get for it. Actually, it'd probably be 25 because those have free shipping and they're new. Mine is used. Usually I have my own bags because I have way too many Goodwill bags at home, but for some reason I left half my bags at home, so I needed to use some Goodwill bags today. I'm gonna price this owl corkboard at $25 or best offer plus shipping. I went ahead and picked these up as well. Super light item. They'll sell for around $7. But again, when you're getting everything so cheap, these little items add up quickly. I also picked up this Pure Barre microfiber towel. This is another cheaper item. I'm gonna list for $12 or best offer. And then the same thing for this Carhartt hat. I'm gonna list this for probably $15 or best offer and see what I can get for it. This mop refill is selling for around the same, $12 or best offer plus shipping. And then all the Vera Bradley items, I asked between $5 and $12 at my garage sale, and I might pay 50 cents a piece for the smaller pieces. Now I need to do some research on this towel, but right now I'm thinking I can get around $12 or best offer for it. But again, I need to do some research. Some of these are worth a lot more than others. Now, you guys didn't see me pick up this hat, but I'm gonna ask $15 or best offer for that one. And then the vintage trucker hat, I'm gonna ask $12 or best offer for this one. Now, I sell a lot of hot rollers and a lot of replacement clips and rollers themselves. So I was kind of on the fence on this item, but it might weigh 6 ounces. So I go ahead and pick it up. I'm going to ask $15 or best offer for those replacement clips. And then I looked this up and sell-through rate is really low. So I went ahead and left it. There was one sold listing for $13 with free shipping, but without the lid. And I don't think that was all the way full. So I just went ahead and put it back. And then I do pick up these J. Crew shoes and these Ariat mules. So shoes are $1 a piece. So those are $2 for 2 pairs of shoes. I love getting shoes at the bin. When I go to the bins, I kind of feel like it's reseller school. So I just threw that yo-yo in my bag because I know yo-yos can be worth some money and it sells for 10. So I picked it up. And then I did end up buying both of these mouse things, and I can sell each one of those for somewhere around $30 to $35. And that's that Conair massager that I grabbed and I told you that I end up putting back. So this Fisher Price playset should be an easy $15 to $20. And I'm definitely picking up the food processor and the Vitamix base as well, but I still need to look up these hot rollers that are currently in my shopping cart. And when I do the research, I end up putting them back. The sell-through rate was really low on these, and I have about 5 other sets of hot rollers that I need to get listed, so I went ahead and put those ones back. So now I have everything basically sorted out. I know what I'm gonna put back and what I'm going to keep. So right now I'm just gonna run to the bin that has just come out, and I'm gonna put everything that I'm not gonna keep back in that bin. So this is everything I'm buying. I put my shoes in this silver Lululemon bag right there. And then I have my books in that little bag. That bath spa, I ended up paying $3 for that. And then this is all my pay by the pound stuff. So when I go to check out, my total was $39.99. As I mentioned in the video, that Conair bath jet has a cigarette smoke smell to it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to reduce the price on that. I'm not too sure how low I'm gonna go on it. I have not listed it yet. I've taken pictures, but I have to decide on the price. So I will probably put a best offer. Actually, I'll definitely put a best offer on that item and kind of let people let me know how much they're willing to pay for it. Now, the Robot Coupe food processor, I have tested that. It does work. More than likely, I'll part it out. I'll sell the base for somewhere around $60 and then the pitcher for probably about $45 is what I'm thinking. And then the Vitamix blender base, there's really no way for me to test that. So I'm going to see if I can get a pitcher cheap enough on eBay. I only have $2 into the base, so if I can buy a pitcher for $25, that way I can test it and then list it as one whole unit, I will do that. But if not, I will maybe part that out. We will see. I'm not too sure. Again, I still have to do some research. This bins trip was Monday and today is Wednesday. So I really haven't jumped into these items yet because I have items from my last bins trip that I'm trying to get listed. So I did sell this little item right here. I took a best offer for $35 on this. So items that I pick up items I pick up anywhere. When I throw up comps, I'm showing what I'm gonna list the item for, but I take offers and I'm here to sell my items, not store them. So if I get a decent offer on something, I'm gonna take it. So this weighs 2 ounces. So I pay $1.49 a pound. So I hardly paid, we'll say 30 cents for this. So of course I'm going to take an offer at $35. I'm always open to offers on my items, especially to get them in and out quickly and get my money back and go buy more inventory. Now the Ray-Bans. So there are a bunch of these listed and they're listed high, anywhere from $150 to $300. Only one pair has sold and it sold at auction for $47. So I'm going to list mine for $75, our best offer, because one sold for $47. All these others are listed. None of them have sold. So obviously people feel like the price is too high. So I want to sell my item. Again, maybe paid 45 cents for these. I just want them in and out, so I'm going to price them to move. So again, $75, our best offer. The Tupperware container set, I'm going to list mine for $120 or best. Someone auctioned a set off and it sold for, I believe it was $75. So I feel like they are worth more than $75. Sometimes there's certain items you should and shouldn't auction off, and I would never auction off something like this. I feel like I can get more for them as a buy it now. So that's how I'm going to list those. And then that strawberry shortcake VHS, I don't think it's new. I think it's been resealed after looking at it. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with that item. If I'll probably end up taking the wrapping off of it and then listing it as used. I won't list it as new, even if I leave the packaging, the shrink wrap on it. But it looks like it's been resealed. Now, next week, I'm going on a 900-mile thrifting road trip with my daughter. So if that's some footage you think you'd like to see, please consider subscribing. I'll be updating you guys all next week in my shorts and posting a couple long videos while I'm still on the road. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in a couple of days in my next video.